Alright, so this is day one of this YouTube channel. And what exactly I want to do with this, I'm not sure. Maybe it becomes nothing. Maybe I make a couple of videos, open a couple of boxes, and at the end of the day, nothing comes out of this. But like many millennial collectors, I grew up with the show, had some Pokemon cards here and there. Then I grew up, kind of grew out of it, came back as an adult, loved it, and then now I am a collector as a parent. So now I have 3 kids, 2 of which are very into Pokemon, shiny cards, stuff like that. I don't know if they necessarily know, the collectible side of it. But one thing that I have noticed, it's obviously 2025, very hard to find cards. We talk about investing. The community talks about investing. And to me, the crazy part is that, as with all hobbies, as with everything else, any kind of groups, things that you're into, you need the hobby to grow. You need the younger generations to kind of keep it alive. And what I think, the scary thing that I am seeing is that, kids are no longer, or not to the extent that they used to be. They're no longer involved in the hobby. It's very hard to find cards if you're a kid going to Walmart on a Tuesday afternoon after school with your parents. And so if I really want this hobby to continue, if I want my sealed booster boxes to go up in value, not that going up in value and being worth more money is like the end all be all, but like if I want this hobby to continue, then somehow we have to get the kids involved. And so I don't want to make this YouTube channel to complain about local game stores. I don't want to make this channel to rip and ship or anything like that. What I want to do is I would like to just give kids Pokemon cards. So I don't know. I think that this is the first attempt at this. Maybe it works, maybe it doesn't. Maybe like I said, I just open a couple of boxes, call it a day, keep the cards. I'm not sure. But my goal is, whenever I can, open up packs, or maybe even keep them sealed. I don't know. We'll see. And then just giving them out to kids, having a channel where you can see. I look at my kids. My daughter, the oldest one, is 5. She looks at this card and is like amazed. She goes, "Oh, that's such a great card. That's so beautiful." She looks at the energies and she calls them chargers, and she's so excited getting them. So maybe this channel is here to bring back some of that, innocence, some of that joy. Nowadays we see the $500 card, the $400 card, and that brings us joy. But I don't know, maybe we need to go back to bringing joy to kids. And I'm talking about pure joy. Getting a pack, opening it, and pulling nothing. A couple of reverse hollows, a regular hollow rare. But I feel like these kids really enjoy that kind of stuff. And so maybe if we can give some packs out, if we can give some cards out, if we can keep, the joy in the hobby, then, ooh, that's a nice card. See, my daughter would have flipped out over this card. Sorry, I can't do it quite. Oh, there we go. Perfect. He's going to flip out over that card. But my goal is, like I said, to just give out packs, give out cards, go to farmers markets, I don't know. I'm not exactly sure how I want to do this. Like, obviously, I'm in Middle America, small town in Middle America. But I like to travel, and we do travel. We're blessed enough that we can travel. So I'm sitting here thinking maybe, down the line, if this YouTube channel gets popular, I'll let you guys and girls decide where I go. I'll have some kind of branded t-shirt. I don't want to put my face in here because it's not about me, it's about cards, just about giving kids stuff. So I'll have some branded t-shirt that says, Pokenoob, or I don't know. We'll decide later on. And once we do, it'll just be, I'll be walking around, and if any kid recognizes me, they get a pack, or I don't know, maybe they get to decide, do you want a pack or do you want a card? I'll have both. So I don't know. Right now we're just recording a couple of videos. I don't have any fancy editing experience or equipment, but I've seen some of these popular YouTube channels, and I think it's cool to go back and see like the very first one. How it was horrible, the lighting was bad, mosquitoes were bad, the glare was bad, kind of a deal. So we're gonna make this one crappy on purpose. Ooh, this is a nice one. See, my daughter would have flipped out. I'm pretty sure this is probably like a 50-cent card, knowing how much people love trainers. But like, my daughter is like, oh my gosh, that's so cool. And I think that's what the hobby needs, You need kids you need that joy. You need that joy back. And if giving a couple of free packs here and there is what kind of keeps the hobby alive, then perfect. Because right now I believe nostalgia is kind of carrying the hobby. But like, if none of these kids can ever find any cards, then they're going to grow up and there's going to be no nostalgia. It's just going to be, oh yeah, those Pokemon cards. I always wanted some and I could never find some. That's cool. And then kind of, keep it moving. So we'll see. We'll see what we end up doing with this channel. Ooh, there's a nice one in there. So that's my goal with this. I don't want to do anything crazy. If it takes off, it takes off. Oh. Again, I think these cards look cool. I've looked at the value. I think they're worth like $4 or $5, if that. I have the Umbreon one, and that's worth like $3. But my daughter sees it and she gets stoked. So this is it. This is what I want to do. We're gonna open packs. We're gonna somehow find a way. Maybe you guys decide what city I go to. And then once I've decided what city I'm going to, then we just go. I let everyone know I'm gonna be wearing this. It will be just for kids, so don't come as an adult asking if you can get a card, if you can get a pack. So yeah, I think that's where I want to take this. And if it takes off, it takes off. If it doesn't take off, then oh well. I'll give these cards away at Halloween, which is what I've been doing. So yeah, this box was the Venusaur EX Blastoise EX. It was a GameStop exclusive. And it kind of sucked, if we're being honest. That is it. So I will be sleeving. I'll be keeping these separate. Maybe the reverse hollows we don't keep. But we'll keep the regular hollows. And then anything above that. Again, I'm just basing this off of my daughter and what I've seen her like. I also have a son. He's a little younger. He gets a little excited about reverse hollows, but not so much. I think it's, the shinier the better for them, which quite frankly, they're kids. They like shiny stuff. So I'm going to go ahead and sleeve these up. And I have a couple as well that are already sleeved and inside the house. It's really cool. Alright, and so I'll sleeve them up, and then we'll kind of just start stockpiling. Like I said, I have some in the house as well. I am lucky, like I said, to be living in middle America in a small city. So I can go on, I think it's Thursday or Friday. And I think last week that I was able to get $1,600 is what the lady said. So the way it works here is the vendor comes to the store, they set it up in customer service, and then it's one item per person. Grab your item and then go to the end of the line. But the vendor doesn't want to have anything that does not sell. The vendor has to repack and then move it to the back of the store. So the vendor this week was it had a lot of binder collections from White Flare, Black Vault, and she goes, I really don't want to take this back. Do you guys just want to split? And a couple of guys did. I didn't. So at the end, everyone split. I think the guys took like $1,500, $1,600 worth of stuff. So the option was there. I don't think I'm quite at the point where I can buy that. I'm pretty sure, they're buying, reselling. Again, this isn't a channel to complain, to moan about what people are doing. If that's their hustle, that's their hustle. But if this channel does take off, I do think I have a pretty reliable source of Pokemon cards that I could be opening, whether on a weekly basis, bi-weekly basis. And then, I don't know, maybe 3 or 4 times a year we'll go somewhere. We'll let you all decide with either comments or, I don't know, we'll do, maybe they can post whatever city you're in, whatever city you would like for these giveaways to be in, and then whichever one gets the most likes, or whichever one gets commented the most, we'll go with that one. How's that? All right, so that was video number 1, 11 minutes. I think that's pretty good. We'll see you again. I'm gonna stockpile a couple of these just to kind of get it going, and then we'll go ahead and decide where to go from there.